What's up, guys? I'm gonna do things a little bit differently this time. Playing a game for Warrior Engine WEXXV in Japan, obviously the famous deathmatch company. What you see on the screen are my logos for them. Obviously, those are not the default ones, but those are the ones I use. I also made this Warrior Engine WEXXV World of Pain a while back. I wish I still had the stuff for it, actually. But yeah, we're going to do stuff a little bit differently this time. We're going to go through and I'm going to show you guys my roster. And I'm actually going to book a show for you. Try and be kind of quick about it. It's pretty easy company to do it for. But anyways, yep, this is World of Pain. Just doing another event. I made like $46,000 last month. So I hired a couple more people. Hired a new commentary team. Let's see how they mesh together. There's going to be a lot of gimmick changes. There's a few guys debuting here tonight as well. I tried to play a rib on Sozin. I think it's Ishana Mori or something like that. I don't know exactly how to pronounce it. But yeah, I tried to play a rib on him because he's grumpy because the MMA fighter guy, Kuniyoshi Kawamura, I believe his name is, beat him up last show. And I fined him instead of firing him, and so he's pissy. So I tried to rib him, and the rest of the locker room thought it was hilarious, but he hated it. As you can see on this screen, Henry Bennett and Kimi Kawano have some simmering tension. I was kind of confused about that. I guess Bennett was mad because Kimi botched a move and injured him, but there was no injury that I saw, so unless it was like a really small one, I don't know what happened there. But anyways, like I said, I will go ahead and go through my roster here. Yeah, so I guess I'm going to have to pause that when I switch screens. I'll just have to remember that. But yep, here's Battle Cicada. That's actually an alt that I did a while back. I really don't like that alt too much, but I like him and Hiroshi to have some form of face paint, and that one looks okay on him. I'm probably going to do one for his new render. I tried to do one a while back, but it didn't go very great. So there's Battle Cicada, Mid Carter, Brains McGee, still around. A rehired Bull Wrecker. He actually doesn't start out in WEXXV in this one, which I find kind of strange considering how much his hardcore has actually gone up. It seems like he would be in either IPW or PSW or something like that, so I guess that makes him a little bit better of a hire for those places. You got Dallas McWade, Dean McWade, both of which are in time decline right now. So and that's pretty normal. They're both 44. Doug Peak, obviously you're going to see a lot of renders that are not the norm. I am big on switching up my roster and having original stuff. Ichi Yumahara, honestly, I don't really want to keep him around too long. He's very conservative. I find that kind of strange. He plays a gimmick where he's a psycho. Same with Toyokuni Hardcore. They both play psychos, but they're like the least hardcore workers that you can find. I mean, they have decent hardcore skill, but you have to... I don't know. I don't like... The way that I booked this company, I don't like to have to work around certain guys. But how I'm going to try and do it this time is I'm going to have them in kind of like a... Think like right to censor. I'm going to have them something like that. I'm going to team him and Toyokuni, see how that goes on this show, actually. But yeah, he's going to be running a pacifist gimmick, and the other guy's going to be running a censor gimmick. Of course, I hired Finley O'Faraday, who now actually has some pop in Japan. He seems like an easy guy to go to, because he's already got the basic psychology. He's extremely liberal. I haven't actually been able to put him in a deathmatch yet, because as you know, he's working for BCG in Japan. So they're touring, so he's wrestling a lot, and he's been fatigued just about every show. So I'm trying to work around that, but you know how that goes. Fujio Narahashi, he looks like he's going to be a good guy for the future. I've always loved this guy. He's not the most hardcore guy, but he's very liberal. So you can book him in death matches and work on his brawling and stuff, and generally the hardcore just comes with it. Gareth Wayne, I believe he is in time decline as well, which is okay, because all the time decline guys are American. I don't think I have The only one that's not is Koichi Kajiwara, which is normal because he's like 40. Henry Bennett, he's a weird one. Now, I don't really know. If you read his bio here, it says that he's basically tried to switch up his career. He's not really the most hardcore guy. He's kind of expensive for what I would think that WEXXV would actually pay for. I don't think he's a good influence either, honestly. Oh, I guess he's a locker room leader. No, I guess he's okay. But, so I guess I misjudged him. But yeah, he's a new addition to WEXXV. Obviously, his last match I had him fight Kimi Kawano, and I guess Kawano just about injured him, which he was very upset about, but he's still happy, so that's good. Henry Lee, who is 46, I believe, well, oddly enough, I think he's in time decline, but he's like just starting. So he's probably going to go until he's at least 50, which is weird for me because every time I start a game with these guys, Henry Lee is like the first one to drop out. And that doesn't bother me too much because he's got good charisma, so he makes a good manager. So I'll basically have Bullwrecker take his spot in the SOB and see how that goes. With Gareth Wayne probably going to retire before him, that's going to be interesting. I'm going to see how I can do that. See how bad Henry Lee can get before he retires, because he's really not very good right now. He hasn't been very good in the past few games, if I actually remember correctly, but that's okay. I still like the guy. Hiroshi Morisu, that's actually an alt that I did. Taking it from Jaki Numazawa's, one of his face paint designs on Google, I believe I looked it up, and I just loved it. You know, and I love to take guys from Big Japan, because there's a couple guys that remind me of guys in Big Japan. Now, I wouldn't say that he necessarily reminds me of Jaki Numazawa. I mean, I guess he could, because he's not very, he's pretty limited in terms of his wrestling style. Like, he's the generic, hardcore, decently charismatic. He's pretty scary looking. So I guess that could be him, but I don't think his stamina is that great. Yeah, you guys can't see my mouse. I gotta remember that. I forgot to switch that on, but obviously the ref, who cares about the ref? He's just the ref. But Kimi Kawano, obviously that's not his natural render. I switched that to, that's actually, oh, what is his name? That's somebody in WMMA. Terateep Nutnum, that's right. That's a re-render, I believe. Oh, I can't remember exactly who did that. But somebody converted it over to a TEW background, and I like it, and it looks good. I don't know. I think it works for him, because he's not really the biggest guy. Kawano isn't, so I think it looks good. He looks like he's a pretty good guy for the future at 23. And when he was in Saisho in the last one, I was kind of surprised by that. I figured that his natural home was WEXXV, so I was very glad to see that he was here when the game starts. Koichi Kajiwara, obviously the Blood Brothers champion right now, as it starts out in the game with Zeshin Makioka, my boy. He's probably one of my favorites in the promotion. And he's, I believe he's in time decline. I don't know exactly how far he is in time decline, but I'm relatively positive he's in it. We'll go through that in a little bit. Kuniyoshi Kawamura. Wow, I think I actually got that right earlier. I don't know, though. I'll have to look it back. I probably wasn't, but as I said in the last show, he was just being arrogant, and he's in his rookie year. Obviously, if you read his bio, he was basically a no-holds-barred fighter, and once he went pro, he went 8-12. Now, I'm curious as to whether or not he's actually in WMMA. I actually haven't looked that up. I think I did before, and I don't think he is, which I find kind of goofy, but it happens. But yeah, he's pretty easily a WEXXV guy. You know, his menace is 94. That's pretty cool. I just noticed that. I didn't notice that before. But yeah, he's got good hardcore. He's not the greatest wrestler in the world, but it doesn't really have to be. It's pretty easy to hide in this promotion, especially with how all the new stuff works. I really like that. Marvel Malloy, I just hired him. Probably going to change his gimmick right now, actually, because I don't think that that's... Yeah, oh wait. Yeah, that's not going to work. That's right, because I have Shinpei Hiroshi using that gimmick at the moment. I don't know if you can see this or not. I'm just changing his gimmick real quick. I think I have to switch the screen, but I don't want to, so... Whoops. So, yep. I just changed his gimmick to Man on a Mission. He's debuting at this show. I didn't actually know he was available in Japan, but he's one of my favorite guys to hire for death matches. And it's funny because as many deathmatch games as I played on 13, I did not notice until one of the latest ones that he is actually liberal. So he's actually a good deathmatch guy. And with this one, he's actually got more popularity. Like, he's 32 in the USA. He's only 6 in Japan, which I feel like is kind of high, but I love that guys are like, I think that goes better with how the internet is, that there's certain guys that they will have some popularity outside of the US. I think that's really cool how all guys seem to have like 2 or 3 or 4 outside of their home region. I think that's really cool. Makes it a little bit easier. Munemitsu Senmatsu, obviously this is his render from the original. Now, why I remember that, I don't know. I used to play... I never really played as them when I was younger, because, obviously, it's easier to play as, like, SWF and stuff like that. At least to me it was. Or it was easier for me to get attached to it. Now I'm a little bit older, and WEXXV has been my favorite for years. I actually re-looked up this render, and I think it's kind of strange that I like it, because it reminds me of, I think, like, Keith Vegas's render. I think that's his name. But, it reminds me of, like, the dorky little bowl cut, but he just, I don't know, I feel like he looks like a badass still, so I like it. Never really been the biggest fan of his, personally, considering how much I like this promotion, and I think that the only reason for that is just that he's not very liberal. He's, like, he'll do hardcore matches, but he won't do death matches, which is a big thing for me around here. I hired Ray Snow. Now, I don't know how well he's really gonna get over, but I'm thinking with guys like Washi Heat and stuff like that, that he'll be alright. He debuted and he's already at 9 in Tohoku, so he must have done something right on his last match. I don't even remember who I booked him against, to be completely honest. Oh wait, no, I booked him in a triple threat match for the King of Death Matches title. Him, Shinpei Hiroshi, and Ichi Umehara. And he ended up losing, obviously. But he's good basic psychology, and they need some guys like that, and so I think I might do something with him and Washi Heat once he gets a little more over. Then there's Reaver, who's obviously Hell Monkey, or was, and I'm just gonna take a little jab here, but one thing I found funny about this guy was that in the last games, it always said he was never wearing a mask. So, or it said in his bio, I believe, that he would wear the mask to the ring and that he wouldn't wear it in the match. So I found it kind of funny that he lost a mask versus match bout, considering he never really wore it. That's just a little complaint from me, but I thought it was funny. Roboon, he's 52. I kept him around because he's actually got 64 in announcing, and I want him to help my younger guy get a little bit better. And I don't know if he really will, but I mean, it's worth a shot. Ryu Kajihara, obviously the man here. I fired Motoichi or whatever because he doesn't want to work here anyways. He's worked here for multiple games, and Ryu can do his job, and I don't know, I always found that kind of goofy. He's there, and he's too big to even work in WEXXV. But, oh well. And one thing I like about this, and I'm actually going to go into this farther later, mind you, road agents can now be in segments, which is perfect. Because I always used to have to switch him back and forth from road agent to personality to put him in angles, and then also have him be a road agent. So I'm glad to see that that's possible now, because that was just a giant pain for no reason. Shinpei Hiroshi, obviously, He's from Exodus, and what I did right off the bat, I actually got a working agreement with Exodus and Golden Canvas Grappling. I tried to get one with WLW, but they didn't want it. And I find it funny that they actually got bigger, and Golden Canvas Grappling is still kind of lower, because I always think of Golden Canvas Grappling as being a little bit better than them for some reason. Or not necessarily better, like I love WLW a lot more, but I don't know, with the way that their bios are always set up, it sounds like they would be better. Sir Winston Watoga, he is on loan from WLW, as is Reaver. Actually, I don't think I mentioned that, but yeah, he's on loan from WLW. Put a couple guys over there, just help them get over, because they get some TV exposure over there. And that never hurts anybody, so. Oh. So Juro Sen, he's one who I always like to hire, but I never really get to use him for very long. Like, the working agreement with GCG is going to help, but I don't think GCG is really going to get big enough to sign him exclusively, but that's okay. Yeah, he isn't. Technically, he actually starts out with BCG. That's right. And GCG stole him, so he obviously left Black Canvas. And so, I don't know. Maybe he'll have a different Destiny role in this one, but I hope that it's not too great. And I know that sounds kind of funny, but I think that he works here. I think he would be a very good option for a main eventer if I can get him there. Sozin Ishinomori. That's it. Obviously, that's not his natural render. That's one of Shinsuke's. That's how I'm going to say it, because I'm thinking Shinsuke Nakamori. I don't know if that's how he says it. From the JDS forums. GDS forums. Wow. But yeah, that's one of his little random Japanese renders that he did a while back. I really like those. I use a lot of them, because I play in Japan a lot. And there's a lot of guys that just kind of have generic renders to me. Taheji Kano. Or Tahaiji. I don't know how you pronounce it. What's funny is I always forget that he has an I before the J. I always remember the one after, but I never remember the one before. Obviously, that's not his natural render. I actually took that over from WMMA. I took a page out of Tiberius's book, because he did it, and it looked actually pretty good. And I was just asking for a re-render for this guy earlier. I actually made one render with a little bit of face paint on it, but I'm going to go back and do some more, because I'm not really too fond on it. But it's okay. So this is a different one. A guy from WMMA. I don't even know who he is, who the guy was. I play WMMA a lot, but it's been a while. I tend to get more immersed in this game. WMMA 4 was pretty cool, but I like this one a little bit more in terms of playability, immersion. That's kind of a big thing for me. Tatsukichi, I didn't really change anything about him. He's obviously the one that was in Dave for a short time, and he was terrible. Even though he was in Dave, he was terrible, and he shouldn't have been there. Of all the people that they sent over here, they sent him. I don't know why. I think that it would have been good to have Battle Sakata and Hiroshi Morisu and stuff like that, the Brothers in Vengeance, but I'm just a giant mark for them, I suppose. Texas Pete. Obviously, he does not start there, but he is... I don't think he's that popular in Japan. Yes, he's only 14-10. Sure, he gained 4 points in overness in his last match. He actually lost, so that's one thing I really like in this one, is that guys seem to be gaining even though they're losing. But he starts out good basic psychology, but obviously he's got all kinds of issues. He's a liberal guy, so he does death matches. The one thing that I do have turned off is, or I have a couple things turned off really, but one of the main things for him is I have lifestyle effects off, I believe, just so that guys don't, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of that, because there's only certain guys that have that start out with, and I don't know how much people actually gain in terms of drug use and stuff like that. But he's one that I don't want that to happen in this game, so I went ahead and switched that off. Now I don't know, I always think of him as having more charisma than he actually has. But, you know, he's alright. So, he's a good worker, and maybe I'll try him and Finley in a tag team or something for a little while, see how they get over. Especially considering I can't really put Finlay in death matches by himself just yet because he seems to be fatigued all the time. So maybe I'll wait for, or I'll do that until BCG decides to quit touring for a little bit so I can get a little more use out of him. The Gremlin. Now that is Weird Waldo Oddlaw, and I'm just gonna keep the Gremlin name. I never do, but I will. I don't know why, but I want to keep it this time. My last game in TEW 13, I actually had him and Delirium team up, but I think I'm just going to see who I can get him with on the natural roster. Some of these guys that I hired, I'm trying not to hire too many international guys I already have, but, you know, trying to keep a limit on it. And that's the Gremlin. That's obviously not his render. I don't remember exactly who made that render. But I know it's a random one. I just like it. I think it suits him. Looks like a crazy dude. So, I mean, what's not to love? So this is Toyokuni, or as he starts out, Toyokuni Hardcore. I say it like that because he's not hardcore in the slightest. He has hardcore skill, but he's super conservative. And what I mean by that is super conservative, he doesn't do any death matches. That doesn't mean that he doesn't just do death matches with light tubes where it's very high content risk. No, he does not do average, or he does not do high content risk. So I literally have to make a match for this guy. I have to make an average content risk match because I put all my matches to high risk. Think like ECW, all matches are, there's the potential of having weapons in them. There's no countouts, no DQs. There's time limits and stuff like that, but, you know, that's the maximum. So I don't really like working around guys, like I said, so generally he really doesn't make it very far. But I'm kind of going to try and challenge myself in this one and see if I can make use of him. And probably eventually get rid of him anyways and get guys over. But he's 31, so we'll see. I think I might put him in a storyline, him and the guy I'm trying to team him up with. Yudamaro Nakatoni, I think that's how you say that. It's pretty obvious, but he's the young guy. He's the young Japanese announcer that I always hire to start out. Now, the game will probably generate a better one in like a month or 2 or 3 or whatever. But there will be a better guy. There was actually that Nizen guy. Nizen, I can't think of his last name right offhand. He starts out, and he was in his rookie year, and I didn't even see him pop up. Or maybe he starts out in Exodus. I don't know. I didn't notice. But I went to hire him, and I was like, oh, crap, because he's loyal to Exodus, and they have him on exclusive because they're smart. They're very smart. At the same time, it's really stupid because if he's already loyal, they might as well just put him on pay per appearance so that you can work somewhere and get a little more over somewhere else. But, you know, maybe that makes too much sense. But, yeah, he's a good starter. He's 32. So he's got some growing. I think he starts out with better stats in this one. I'm pretty sure. I could honestly have 13 up right there running behind it and check, but I don't really feel like it. Washi Heat, one of the more surprising people that works in Warrior Engine. He still does. He's worked there for 2006. He left. Oh, see, he left Burning Hammer and went to PGHW. So he left in 2011. So he's now worked in Warrior Engine for about 5 years, which is cool. He actually, if you look in his bio, he actually won the Warrior's Heart while the game was absent. He held it for about 6 months, February to August of 2014. So that's pretty cool. He's not really a deathmatch guy. I think he does high risk though. I don't think that he's I don't think he bitches too much about doing high risk matches. This is Yasuhide Tayama. Obviously that was not his natural render. As I said, I don't really care for some of the renders. There's a lot of guys that I feel like, especially in Japan, that really need re-renders. And I'm sure that there's some that have been done. I don't think there's actually one for him, but there's some that get done, and I think there's a lot of people that like the original renders, even though a lot of them don't really look too great, but that's okay. And that's not a knock on the people that made the originals. I just mean I'm more of a guy that likes polished renders. As you'll see, all my guys here, they kind of have a, I don't know, they look a little more polished than, say, I'll just go ahead and switch over to his original one. So I gotta go through here and switch the thing here. See, that's his original render. I don't, like, it looks okay, but it looks a lot less defined and stuff. And so this one is actually Hyro A-Rise render from WMMA. I believe that Scotty, that's actually a re-render, and I believe Scotty did that. Yosai Mizuno, he's the announcer. Or he's actually the color commentator, excuse me. I just hired him. Says he's a good guy and basically forced his way into the business. Something I would like to do myself. Hopefully I won't be 35 when I do that. But, you know, that's hopefully what I like to do. And Zeshin, the very last. Obviously that's a different render for him as well. The person that I compare him to is Jun Kasai. That's right. I actually watch a lot of BJW, or I used to. I don't watch it as much as I did. But I always liked him. I was glad to see he won the Tournament of Death. I think that would have been, like, what, 4 years ago now? 4 years ago in July. And I don't think he's been back since. And I hear that he's actually slowed down considerably from what I understand, in terms of, like, what he used to be able to do. But yeah, so that's him. That's who I always get reminded of with him. He's generally got next big thing potential. I don't think he does in this game. He's one that I wish that he was loyal, but that's okay. I mean, he's been with the promotion for about 10 years now. 10 years in May. So you would kind of think that he would be loyal, but that's okay. So if he gets stolen, he gets stolen, but he's just great. He's a liberal guy. He's death matches. He's probably the best worker in the company, I'll say that. He's got good technical skills. He's got decent flying. He's not really great in all of them. He's great in the hardcore and brawling department, that's for sure. Oh, and a little shout out to Adam, and I don't think he's really going to watch this, but I really like that the hardcore scene has been upgraded in this one. And if you look back through the other ones, I mean, there's a couple guys that are hardcore, but, like, this one, they're actually getting 60s and 70s in their hardcore and brawling, which I like, because in the last one, it's like, oh, you have a 50, so you're hardcore. It's like, no, that doesn't add up with the other stats at all. If you're a technician, you need, like, 70s, and I don't know, it's just weird. Just a little complaint, but yeah, he's WEXXV Blood Brothers champion. I'll actually go back through my champions here. Shinpei is the king of the death matches. He won it in his debut. He's got the show stealer gimmick, obviously because he's pretty good. Now he's almost on par with Zeshin, I would say. He's not quite as good in technical. He's okay flyer. He's got really good brawling though. 72 brawling. I really like that. To see that he'd gotten a little better. And I always forget that he actually has just as good mic work and charisma and stuff as his partner Commander. Now, I didn't hire Commander. I don't think he's as good a fit for this company. Now, I don't know. I don't know if Shinpei actually does anything over average too. And I know I was already complaining about that once, but I actually haven't tried. I had to book him in one with an average content risk because he was in the match with Ichi. So, and then there's him, and then, excuse me, about to sneeze. But, and then there's the other champion is Munamitsu, that's who it is. He's the Warriors Heart champion, and he's been like 5 times. I think that's right. Yeah, he's been the champ 5 times now. And I actually always have Hiroshi break his record and become like a 6-time champion and keep Munamitsu out of the title picture in general. I'm just a stickler. I don't know. But In my last game, I wish I still had it. I had a game that went like multiple years as Warrior Engine, and Hiroshi ended up with 90, 90, I believe, in psychology and high 80s in basics. So he basically had next big thing potential, and that was awesome. Especially considering that he doesn't start out too great. But yeah, he ended up being a lot better than Munamitsu ever would have been, which that was really cool that the Destiny got him there. But yeah, I always have him break the record. But I still have the... Oh, I'm going to have to switch that over. Oops. Yeah. These are the storylines that it starts out with. It's breaking down in Tokyo. It's talking about... I'm actually going to cancel that one. Because... I don't know. It doesn't really make any sense when you really think about it. Because Tatsukichi can do death matches. Both the McWades, I believe, can do them. I don't know if Dallas can do them. I know Dean can. But... I don't know. It's silly. Battle, and then this is the Patriot Act. The SOB have long been the dominant heel stable in WEXXV, spitting in the face, often literally, of Japanese culture. So Munamitsu and Hiroshi have put their differences aside to make the stand against the Americans. So, as you can see here, I actually added Battle in there to team with Hiroshi, because I don't really care to put Munamitsu and Hiroshi together, because like I said, I don't really want to limit Hiroshi to not be able to do death matches. Then there's Doug Peak, Gareth Wayne, Henry Lee. Oh, and I added Reaver, that's right, because I had Reaver take on Munamitsu for the title and had Munamitsu beat him and all that. Oh, gotta switch it over. Sorry guys, still getting the hang of this. There we go. So, let's do some booking. See, I have, as you can see here, oh no, you can't see that. Halt. I'm gonna have to start pausing this as I'm switching over. Yeah, that's gonna be fun. I'm gonna have to pause it like every time I need to switch. But as you can see here, I have death matches set up, but I make special ones so that guys aren't getting injured left and right. I mean, just because not every death match you see, they're literally not going balls to the wall every time. Now, see, I have this is my generic WEXXV deathmatch. It's essentially a regular hardcore match. I don't switch the bios on some of them, but as you can see, tables, light tubes, barbed wire boards, weapons. That's a generic deathmatch, I think. And with the addition of light tubes, which is, I think it actually makes the injury risk higher, but I don't care. That's fine with me. I'd rather have high injury risk than very high. I haven't had any injuries yet, so that works for me. But we're going to go ahead and book a match here. Oh, what do I have to switch to now? Book a match. There we go. Oh, by the way, this is a skin, the new skin, made by Isile, or Ice Isle. That's what I always called him. I don't know why. I don't think that's right, but... So let's go ahead and book. I'm weird like that. I like to always book my main event first. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We'll have Hiroshi taking on Gareth Wayne. Switch back to booking thing. Yeah, I'm going to have to start pausing this. I don't want a bunch of black screen on my video here. But no title implications, that's right, I forgot. I always have a title on Hiroshi, so I just kind of forgot. But, so, the aim of this match, I'm kind of scared to do car crashes. I'm not not gonna lie about that. I'm kind of very scared to do car crash matches, because I think that it totally fits the style, but I don't know, it's weird. Oh, that's not right. What in the hell? I'm actually click on show mouse. Rotated notes. Why is that not popping up? There we go. So yeah, now you can see my mouse. Just so you know where I'm going. I mean, you see it, but I'm gonna make Hiroshi the winner, because obviously he's my favorite. No, I think I will just do a car crash. I don't think that they really have too much psychology, and I think it says that it needs that, which I find kind of funny. I mean, whatever. New commentary team is in place, so Hiroshi's the victor, and that's all we need for that one, I believe. Sorry about that. Kind of gonna go ahead and skip through this a little bit. I'm not gonna skip anything in particular except for showing you like 4 screens at a time, so I don't think that's really necessary. This one is basically just going to be a triple threat, and as you see, it says WEXXV in the match. All that is I just made the content risk high. Injury risk is still low. The only things that you can use in this match are like weapons and tables. So it's just a generic hardcore match, but it's not set to be hardcore because not every match needs to be hardcore, in my opinion. This is a hardcore kind of company, but it doesn't need to be hardcore. So what we're going to do here, I could book another title match, but I don't know. Yeah, I'll go ahead and try that. See if Shinpei can actually do... Where the hell is he? There he is. See if he can do stuff over average content risk. So if not, I honestly probably won't keep him on very long. Or I'll put him in that little stable that I'm going to do, the little Japanese right to censor. Who to put in this match? I don't want to put Finley because he's actually more over than he is. We'll put Sir Winston in there. He's on loan, so we'll use up his matches pretty quick. And maybe Fujio? Yeah, Fujio looks like a good choice. Oh, he's actually injured, so never mind on that one. So Fujio, you are not getting booked today, sir. I'm very sorry. Is Kimi good? Kimi's not so much a good brawler. I'm looking for a good brawler. Ray Snow it is. I know he can brawl. It's at 10 minutes. Oh yeah, I gotta switch it back over, son of a bitch. Set at 10 minutes. Make it King of Death matches. Just gonna go ahead and book that. Make it a wild brawl. That works. I should make that steal the show, but I'm not gonna. Alright. Generic tag match here. Gonna be between the American Psychos and Munamitsu, and a debuting Sojuro Sen. Gonna catch him off guard. See how they like that. Have him come in, help out a little, get him a good rating, because, you know, Henry Lee can't work for very well. He's decently over, but he's not going to bring in a good match. Honestly, I'm going to set it at 13 minutes. I feel like that might be a lot. I'll just leave it at regular. I'll go ahead and have Sojuro get the win. Alright, let's go ahead and book another death match. Let's see if Finley's in good enough shape to put on a show today. And then I think the only other match that we're going to book for this particular show is going to be the tag titles. Yes, I have a lot of people on the roster, is what I'm noticing right now. A whole lot of people. Book him and Fujio. Oh yeah, Fujio's injured. Can't do that. That's not a good idea. So Finley, and then let's do him against Tahaiji. That's a good match. It should be a good match, anyways. Honestly, with those two, I could probably set it to be hardcore based, but I don't really feel like I need to. I feel like that the high contact risk alone will be alright. And so they're gonna go 14 minutes. Let's go ahead and have Tahaiji get the win. I'm not even going to switch it over. I'm just deciding what kind of match it's going to be. I'll just leave it regular. So it doesn't really need to wow anybody necessarily, I don't think. Okay, so let's book one more matchup here. It's going to be the tag matchup for the titles. We're going to see the Forlorn Hope, Zeshin, and Koichi. Oh, I'm actually going to book them against that new little Right to Censor team. That's what I'm going to do. So, bear with me. I know you're seeing darkness at the moment. I got to make them a special matchup because they don't like to do hardcore stuff. So, Zeshin and Koichi. And they will take on the team of Ichi and Toyokuni. There he is. What's his last name? Does it say his last name? No, he just used to be Toyokuni Strong. Okay, so... Oh, wow, you saw darkness that whole time. That's awesome. Or you saw this screen. That's okay. Blood Brothers. We'll have the champs retain. You know what? I'll just put Mayhem for that one. Just because. Even though it's really not going to be too much Mayhem. Because it's the least risky matchup of the evening. But that's okay. Alright. Where is that? Quoting locally. No. There we go. Go ahead and switch those around. Put it. I'll just have that open the show. How's that sound? Switch this for the back one. I think I might. I think I lied. I think I'm gonna book one more matchup. And one more matchup will be... We'll go ahead and do Henry Bennett. He's expensive, but he can put on a decent match from what I can tell. Fujio's out. I keep wanting to book Fujio. Really like Fujio. Should book him against Kimi again just to piss him off, but I won't. Because I think that actually has some repercussions in this one. Booking guys that don't like each other against each other. Whatever, I'll put Sozin in there. Even though he's very upset with me at the moment. And if he doesn't do well in this match, I'm just going to release him. Like, I like him and he's got decent talking skills, but that's about it. He's not really a deathmatch guy. He's just young. He's just young. Maybe if I put Sozin over, he'll get a little bit happier, so I'll go ahead and do that. And that will actually be our opening matchup. I'll switch back over here. Book a couple angles. Select an angle. Go to top. Argument. Alright, so we'll book one for the main event. Hiroshi, Gareth. I really don't think that they're very good on the mic, but oh well. That'll be the opening segment. Get the crowd all fired up here. I'll just leave that on book and angle so you'll see black for just a second. Just book a generic promo for Sozin. Since he likes to talk, I'll book it for after the match. And I'll book one little promo for Toyokuni and Ichi. I don't know what Ichi's. Ichi doesn't have very good entertainment, but I know Toyokuni's okay. I know he can entertain him a little bit. So yep, we'll go ahead and do that, and I think we're good to go for the show here tonight. Switch this back over here. I gotta figure out a way to not make me switch the screen 20 times. I don't want to pause it every single time that I need to switch a screen, but that's kind of why I wasn't booking on my last show, but that's okay. So we'll go ahead and switch over here. Tohoku, is that where I was last time? Yes, it was. Kind of tempted to go somewhere else, though. It really doesn't have it. Yeah, I'm just going to stick to Tohoku for now. Book a generic one. And here we go. Here we go. They argued. Started them out strong. It's only a 62. I'm so spoiled now. I've been playing as TCW, getting like 100 ranked angles. So it's weird to see that and actually think, hey, that's actually a good angle. It's a little strange. Okay, so generic venue wrangled in 1,500 people. That's not bad. It's a little bit more than that said it was going to have, so that's cool. So Ryu, obviously, killed it. Looked good. Carries on the whole storyline. You don't need the pre-booking. Alright, so Henry Bennett and Sozin. This match got the crowd hotter. That works. 49. I'm not complaining. Sozin cuts a promo. 49. Still not complaining. They're already warmed up, though, so that's good. Oh, no. Tahaiji, I book you over one of the better workers that I have right now, and you underperform. He was really off his game. They got a 54, though. That's not bad. I can get behind that. But he only had an in-ring performance of 40. Tahaiji's always someone that I push in this company. He's just one of the originals. He's a great deathmatch guy. He just an easy guy to push, and he's pretty well-rounded, honestly. So Yumihara and Toyokuni cut a backstage promo. Oh, I kind of wish I booked another angle because that's probably going to bring the crowd's mood down. But, so 39. It's okay, I guess. Oh yeah, I got a Turner gimmick change for one of them. For both of them, that's right. Ichi gets above average. And Toyokuni gets great. Good. So Toyokuni is the leader. We already kind of knew that, though. So the Forlorn Hope defeated Ichi, Yumihara, and Toyokuni in a WEXXV rules match. An average one, because they don't do high risk. But Zeshin defeated Ichi by pinfall. Defense number 6. I think that's the first one that I've actually booked for them thus far. Koichi 41. So you can tell he's in decline right there. You can definitely tell because he's a better worker than that. Zeshin obviously brings in the best performance of the night, 58. Toyokuni's 51, which isn't bad. This match got the crowd buzzing. That's because it was Mayhem. I didn't realize that Mayhem did that. So that's kind of why I mixed it up and threw in a couple regular matches. Uh-oh. Two crazy matches in quick succession doesn't really work. That's not good. As I was just saying, I tried to let him get down. No. This one was a wild brawl. I wonder if I would have put Steal the Show if it would have been better, but I don't think so. So I'm going to have to remember that. Decent match. Shinpei defeated both of them to defend his title for the first time. It's a 54. It's not bad. He won by submission. A submission in the WEXXV. Look at that. 63 performance, 48 performance, 39 performance. So I don't know if Ray Snow is just underperforming or if that's a part of his overness, but he's a lot better than that. I don't know why. So there we go. Wow, that got a decent rating. Unamitsu and Sojoro Sen defeated the American Psychos. 1309. Doug Peak. Oh, it's a submission. I didn't realize it was a submission. Over the shoulder backbreaker. So that's, I'm assuming, like a torture rack. I'm assuming. He got above average in his Raging Bull gimmick. That's okay. I can forgive it. Doug Peak, 45. Henry Lee, 38. Sojiro Sen, only 47. That's surprising to me. Munamitsu Senmatsu is 68. See, now I might just like him in this game, actually, because he's going to be ringing in better performances. And that should have been the main event, obviously. Uh-oh, that's not good. I see injury. Great Heat, Decent Wrestling. Hiroshi Morisu defeated Gareth Wayne, 14:37. That's why it was like that, because I put it for 15 minutes. Okay, so the match got the crowd buzzing. Gareth Wayne sustained a reverberating bicep. Now, I don't think that's that bad of an injury, though. I think that's a pretty generic injury. An in-ring performance of 51 and 47. So maybe that I probably shouldn't have put that as the main event because Gareth is in time decline. But that's okay. So end of show. Does it show that? Okay. That is the overall rating. It's 57. Works for me. I think I read somewhere that the co-main event actually means a lot more now than it used to. So Hiroshi and Gareth. So you can see it right there. It was a good little show for me to start out with. This is my second show so far. I only booked one before that, and I didn't have a lot of these guys I just booked. So Ishinomori. Now, I don't know if I should keep him or not. If you guys think I should keep him, go ahead and comment, because if not, I'll probably just get rid of him, because I like him, but I don't know, I don't like him that much. So we'll give a little post-match speech. Munamitsu, Sojiro, and Shinpei. That's what we'll do. I'm going to praise them, because I'm a good guy. Munamitsu was pleased. Shinpei was pleased. It's alright. We'll just go ahead and do this. This video's been long. long. I'm just realizing that this video is going to be very long. So, male. Gareth Wayne is injured. Oh, he's got an opinion. Uh-oh. That's not good. I don't think it showed you guys my email, but it was Hiroshi Morisu, and he was complaining about Sojuro-sen and saying that this kid, mind you, Sojuro-sen is 31 years old, and Hiroshi is only 6 years older than him. He said, and I quote, "This kid does not connect with the fans. You should probably write him off." That's not good. That's really not good. But okay, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. And I'm thinking about doing a dynasty for this one. Obviously, I'm not going to do another booking one for this. I really mainly did this showing of the booking just to kind of show what's inside my brain just a little bit. And I still feel like I was a little limited because I need to pause it next time. I didn't want to pause it too much this one, make it organic, but with how many times I got to switch the screen, I think I'm going to have to do that. But thank you guys for watching. And, oh, I wanted to show one of my coworkers this game, too. That's kind of why I did a booking video. I doubt he'll even watch it, but that's why I did that. But, yep. So, there's a recap once again, and thank you guys for watching. Let me know if you have any suggestions, or if there's anything you guys would like to see inside a WEXXV ring, or if there's anyone particularly I can see what I can do about signing them. There's a couple guys I'm probably going to get rid of relatively soon. So thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks, guys.